And we are back, finally. We did mention get a game. Not quite the qualifying match yet, but the prelude to the another one of those qualifying matches. We are, of course, going to have another ZvP being thrown down here. Saiko versus NXZ. What do you think about that matchup, Quirky?
I mean, I am so hyped for it. We did see it yesterday as, I think, our first or second match of the day. And goddamn, Ryan Jones.
Oh, mate, Ryan.
Yeah, I haven't used the Aussie accent much.
Yeah, Light told me to use the Aussie accent.
Yeah, and I'm telling you not to.
Ah, but who do I listen to? My dad or my dad?
I'm not your dad.
What? My life is falling apart now. But speaking of falling apart,
yeah,
we're now falling in to the loading. I'm not sure what I was trying to segue there, right? You know, sometimes you get that part where you think we need to move on to the next topic. You don't really know what the next topic is yet. But
no,
it's all good. Eventually, we're all moving forwards towards death. Or, Aha! We're in the top left-hand corner of the map. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map, we do in fact have the Singapore Red Protoss coming in all the way from the land of Singapore. He is currently teamless, but very much so the probably the most notable up-and-coming player from the island. We have Saiko. Jeskase.
And sporting in the bottom right, representing Legacy Esports from Brisbane, Australia. Give it up for Ryan goddamn Jones and NXZ.
Oh, mate. Roy, coming down.
Jesus Christ.
So, do you think we will see a repeat of what happened yesterday, Quirky?
Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, starting off on a different map. And it'd be interesting to see whether NXZ decides to go for, you know, that, maybe the Swarm host Nidus play again, or maybe not, but...
Yeah, we actually don't know what went on in those other games that they played, do we? I mean, I guess we could ask them, but where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
Gonna have to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. But for now, standard plays coming out from both players here. Cybercore and Nexus on the way here for Saiko. Second base up and running. Wing speed as well. So, nothing too much of a surprise happening at this very moment. Overlord Scout going to be coming in, and Stargate play going to be it for Saiko. Now, we did see this against... who did he play? Vivid.
Yeah, seems to really enjoy going for this sort of play on this map. Particularly that positioning on the Stargate has been pretty consistent. NXZ is sending his Overlord in a bit of an awkward path, so might not be able to scout that. No, it should be able to. That soccer will not be out in time to kill it.
Yeah.
But either way, not the end of the world.
Yeah. But the Adept does get in, try and see what it can. Third base is being made here, but the Overlord does scout that Stargate play coming in from Saiko, so should start seeing the spores going down pretty soon from NXZ. But for now, he is just droning up.
Yeah, trying to replace his Overlord as well. Just making sure that, you know, supplies are in supply.
He has enough supply.
That's the term. Ah. As the Oracle gonna be coming along across the map. I'm not I'm not really convinced that the Oracle will get too much damage done, but it's in the utility of the Oracle. It's also going to be a really good scouter here for Saiko.
Yeah.
So it does still pay to have a couple of Oracles wandering around in this at this side of the map.
Well, RoA is coming in. Ooh, nice pick off of that transferring drone. Does manage to get another one as well, so not too bad from the side of Saiko here. Just opening up with a bit of damage, but RoA is almost finished. The spore going down in the third, and there's that roach drone. Now, with that Phoenix combined with these two Oracles here, I'm expecting, you know, pick up into the Queens into more damage, but the spores are going to be the key factor with any damage coming in from these Oracles.
I have seen, though, one real cool trick that some Protoss players like to do is they send in their Phoenixes first, so even though even the Phoenixes that are lifting the Queens will still be tanking a bit of damage on the spores. And with double Oracle, that's a lot of damage that comes out very, very quickly. That's enough to one-shot a drone, and it doesn't take that much. It doesn't take that long to retarget.
Yeah, but Phoenix does come in, you know, gets an Overlord, and that would supply. Oh, okay, doesn't supply block NXZ as much as I thought it would.
Yeah, but pretty close there.
Ooh.
Once again, just going to be diving into this mineral line, doing a very delicate dance here between the Spore Crawler. Does not want to lose his Oracles, risking a lot here. The Queen comes out of Graviton Stasis and will be able to finish off one of those Oracles. Nicely done.
Yeah. 4 drones not too bad with that amount of damage, but losing that Oracle trades it back in the favor of NXZ. I feel like he's trying to cancel that third base, but unfortunately too many Adepts there with the sentries as well. +1 ground weapons and the Twilight Council as well on the way here for Saiko. But for now, it's just the macro game at the moment, trying to get to that spot that you want, as both these players are just trying to get their forces in as best shape as they can. As Rocheron is done, +1 range weapons and Galal reconstitution as well being researched. And the Swarm Host Nidus play!
I guess we were kind of waiting for it.
Yeah.
At 6:30 minutes, NXZ has not forgotten about their previous encounter. He knows exactly what works against Saiko. Saiko is starting to prepare for it somewhat. Hallucinated Phoenix does get a very good scout off, so High Templar, Archons, pretty good.
Yeah, no Storm though, so. But now you got to play whack-a-mole with the Nidus, and this is the thing Saiko should be doing. He's pushing out. He's going to be creating pressure for NXZ, but I feel like NXZ should have enough to hold. And there's the first Nidus, 3 more Swarm Hosts. How many Swarm Hosts in total? That'd be about 10 Swarm Hosts. Put that directly onto the Nexus, and that is going to be no more mining from that. And
exactly,
this is not an impressive force coming in from Saiko right now.
It really isn't, but it's the only force he has, and the main thing to keep in mind is that it's here on the other side of the map. NXZ already with the Roach Force, already going to be able to pile down these force fields. Going in for the surround and recall his force.
Oh, he had him on A move. There were 2 Zealots there as well, but you know what? Pick off the Cybercore. Pick off a, a Pylon as well.
Yeah,
so could have been better trades. Could have been worse, but I feel like the second wave of Locust should be on their way. Don't think MSX should have moved out. Yeah, there is a lot of Lings here to tank for these Roach Ravager.
Exactly, and Storm is nowhere near complete. There are no Archons in this army. Very good concave here on top of the Roaches. Does need to keep the Zerglings alive, though, NXZ does. Because, again, these are 3 Immortals. They pop down Roaches like nobody's business, but another round of Locusts are ready to go for that that vulnerable third.
Yeah, well,
in fact, it's actually going all the way in. Storm has finished, and there is enough energy on top of these High Templar. One of them does go down, but a little bit misplaced. Now Saiko has to make a choice. Where is he going to throw down the Storms? Unfortunately, not the best use. And this is looking like the end. GG's call. NXZ takes game number 1. History kind of repeating itself. Let's see if we'll see if Saiko can turn this around, or
Yeah.
if NXZ can keep this up.
I mean, hopefully he should be able to. But I guess we'll see what's happening with that.
Well, this, of course, will be going on to face Quantel, the top Indonesian player. Had a really good run so far today. Fortunately taken out by Azure Ahai in the second qualifying match. So yeah, we'll be thrown down to the lower bracket qualies. By the way, a pretty intense lower bracket we've got today. Maybe not the best players from the region, but definitely
very
players who are
competitive.
very competitive, very evenly matched. It is just about anyone's game. I think I would favor NXZ to make it out of this qualifiers. I think but other than that, it's just anyone's game.
Yep. Getting in. Hopefully they're in lobby now, so we should get the invite pretty soon.
Yep. Let's get everybody down in here.
Everybody.
Everybody!
Ooh, pillars of gold.
Get in here! Yeah, not what...
That was
not what
expecting.
yeah, exactly. Not what I'd have expected, especially not from the second map, but... I'm glad that we get to see it... glad that we get to see it either way. It's gonna be...
I guess we'll see what happens. Saiko's ready. We're ready. Good luck has been called. And the countdown is beginning.
Boop. Boop. That's as far as I'll go. You gotta keep the rest for anticipation. Keep everyone on their seat. Now, Pillars of Gold, how good is this for Swarm Hosts?
Really good. Maybe not in like the first, like the natural and like frontline bases. You do have those rocks that can be easily destroyed. But there are places that you can put it, and I feel like it's not really a good map for that. But anyway, we have here spawning in the top right, the Blue Zerg, representing Legacy Esports and the nation of Australia. Give it up for Ryan Goddamn Jones NXZ.
NXZ. And before getting into the lower, bottom left-hand corner of this map, thank you very much, Peppy H, for the sub. Do enjoy that those duck emotes. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we do in fact have our red Protoss coming out all the way from the island of Singapore. Currently teamless, so it's team owners, keep your eye peeled. We have Saiko. Alright, it's just one map here, Quirky. One map that will determine, or could determine, whether or not NXZ will be going into that second qualifier. Or third
Against
qualifier,
Quantel.
I should say.
Yeah, our third qualifier between Quantel and Costa Azure already qualifying through the match, and hopefully we should be able to get into that last qualifier as well. Or maybe not, but
Yeah, they might.
no, we'll try and get into any games that we can. Man, if only we had, you know, more English casters. Calling out the rest of the amateur casting crew. But anyway, yeah, right now, like I said, should be going for that third base pretty soon. It should be a mirror of game one that we had just a couple of minutes ago. At least the start of it. And thing is, you know, as soon as Saiko saw that, you know, the infestation pit and whatchamacallit, Nidus, he decided to go for a counter attack, but it wasn't really that powerful enough. It was immediately repelled. Like, he immediately had to use the recall, and I feel like he wasn't macroing as best as he could during that time. not getting the units that he could.
I very much so agree with you there. I think Saiko is going for the sort of standard response to seeing swarm bursts out on the map, right? Force your opponent to use them defensively, because then Locals aren't really good on the defense. But NXZ, with all the confidence, with all the decisiveness, decided, yeah, I'm just gonna get some roaches for defense. What can you realistically
he had that Roach Ravager for a bit as well, so it wasn't exactly like, he merely made those. He had those ready and raring to go just in case for that counterattack, and we do have that Dark Shrine skip again, and I'm not sure, did actually get a... no, he hasn't scouted the main just as yet, so it's going to be interesting to see when he decides to go for that scout. Are there any overlords on this side of the map?
No, they have been taken out, and NXZ is just keeping them back over on his side for spotting. I do imagine we should see some safety spores, as there they are. Being thrown down already, as one, he doesn't know what he's up against, but two, Saiko generally has a bit of a reputation for those Stargate plays. I'm gonna help him too much, not going for that here, but what NXZ does prepare into, it's arguably better.
Yeah. Well, we'll guess. We'll see, but, I think he's gonna try and do, the standard fake out of, it's Glaive the Depths, baby! Ha ha ha!
It can
but accompanying it with the Warp Prism as well, Lynx are gonna catch out these, Adepts. See that? No Glaive Cessors yet, shouldn't be hitting until, right about now, so... it's gonna be interesting to see. Actually, the Adepts cancelling that Shade, as that Warp Prism is going into the main. There is a dark spot.
Sure this is the right call. Okay, morphing, or not morphing, warping the DTs back at the low ground before going into the high ground. Much better way of doing it instead of risking warping in entirely on top of your opponent.
Yeah, and immediately has to
once he sees a spore, decides just keep the DTs to sort of harass the roaches instead of the economy. Now going to be loading them back on in. Should be going for Archon harass now.
Yep. Gonna drop them down, get those Archons nice and warped in. But for now, NXZ, he's just going to be droning up, getting 13 drones to be exact, getting that OCE as well, just for the defense. And there we go, there's one DT, there's the Archons as well. But, NXZ, he has defended this pretty well, even though it was through blind dumb luck that... it's safety, or just, natural skepticism that he did get those safety spores.
Yeah, well, again, he was playing it very, NXZ was playing a style where he didn't go for the scouts, kept his overlords all back at home. And you just want to cover your bases at that point. When you don't know what your opponent is doing, get safe.
Let's get an overlord, but the roaches are here, and they are in defense, so it's not exactly...
Yeah, being able to meet with the queens as well just really does shut down Saiko's
and there's the other option that NXZ likes to go for in this matchup, the Spire, so going to be getting a couple of Mutt-Mutts out and about.
Then that is probably going to be the nail in the coffin here for NXZ sort of Archon harass. Do not see that Warp Prism being too long for this world. Baneling that's being thrown down. We're going to see a little bit of Mutiling Bane, but with roaches added on top of that. In fact, this is mostly a safety Baneling nest. It's... I doubt NXZ wants to stick on that tech as the game goes on.
Yeah. And I do like what Ranger put in chat. NXZ is very adept at defending these DT plays early on. He only lost to it once early in his first game against Pairs, and immediately was like, you know what, I'm never gonna fall for this again. Yeah, and he hasn't lost to the DT harass, but this army from Saiko is very, very massive, has got charged, but not enough sentries to fully cover off the Roaches and Ravagers.
Yeah, it's still looking pretty vulnerable. Like if NXZ is on top of this, can definitely can definitely snipe out these units. Mutas are in fact out, and that's gonna help a ton against these chargelets. Baneling's still in the back, just as a sort of a bit of a last line of defense here. Ideally, for NXZ, these chargelets just run right on into that, as we see trying to go in with a bit of a concave here on top of the Roaches. A lot of Archons and a lot of Immortals are still alive. This is a fantastic concave for old mate Ryan, but in the end, it's just way too much firepower for Saiko. NXZ is being forced all the way on back. What are these Mutas doing?
Where are the Mutas? What are they doing? Okay, they're in the main.
But this is not, this doesn't seem to be enough. The shield batteries keeping these Stalkers alive. Being forced to pull all of the boys. NXZ looking like he is in a lot of trouble here. I think we're about to see an ace match very soon here, Quirky.
Yeah, these chargelets being so damn powerful. And the warp pins as well. But that fourth base is still active here for NXZ. And actually, he gets us around and the pickup. And he actually holds on, but loses so many workers in the process, but still ahead.
He's still ahead. That's one thing to keep in mind, is that was basically all in from Saiko. Now going to be trying to scramble to be getting a third base, getting his economy up and running. But is it going to be enough? He does have to hold this, but it's not going to be enough. Look at the army supply, Quirky.
Yeah, look at the supply, as a certain French caster would be saying. But there is enough Stalkers to hold off this attack. So I think, like I said, he's just going to go back, macro up to get a better army. Templar Archives on the way here for Saiko, as more and more Lings, plus the third getting retaken here for NXZ.
Yeah, now that he's confirmed that there is no third base coming up from Saiko, NXZ is not going to risk much of anything here. It's going to be playing it safe, pulling back. As a wise man did once say, when you're ahead, get more ahead. And that's basically what NXZ is exemplifying here.
Yep. But I do. All the Mutas are coming in again into the natural.
Yeah, not enough battery overcharge to do both of these shield batteries. 3 more probes do go down. Not too much damage, but just making sure that Saiko can't recover. It's going to be absolutely huge here. Never underestimate that. And here comes the main army coming down.
Yep.
Oh, Saiko's on position. He's a little bit exposed here. And he's starting to move forward, trying to fight this army, but it is... Is it too much here for Saiko to deal with? Definitely seems like it.
There's only like one... There's only 2 sentries here. One, don't think has enough for a force field. The other might have 2. Okay, it was enough.
Surprising amount of... surprising amount of force field gets thrown down there. Only 2 Immortals left.
So damn distracting here. Yeah, only one Immortal. 17 probes going down. Like, Saiko, he's on such low econ right now that he has to be so efficient with his units right now, but with this unit composition, I feel like he can't be. Especially with these Banelings, which, I don't know, Baneling speed, I thought they had Baneling speed, but apparently they did not. Baneling speed only getting served, but +1 melee as well. Yeah. He's, and I said, look at this flank that he's trying to get up. These Mutas just keep on wreaking havoc in the mineral lines, just getting more and more probes. But, this actually move out from Saiko went all the way past NXZ's main army, but the Overseer is there and will allow NXZ to get back into position to try and defend any push.
Exactly. It's not quite the mobile defense that NXZ is looking for, as, you know, his creep spread has been halted for quite some time with that massive push out coming up from Saiko, but it is still enough. Pillars of Gold, at least looking at it vertically, is a map that, you know, allows for the Zerg player to sort of quickly go back and forth. But at least compared to the rest of the map pool, but in the end it's yeah, it's just way too much army here coming up from NXZ. Is looking to be the end of the end. Banelings are trying to commit, but they don't even need to. And with that, NXZ gonna be going off to face Quantel in the third qualifier.
Mm-hmm.